By the time I became the age of 12, my grandmother put me out, and I was on my own and been on my own since. So I had to raise myself, basically. I had to do all kind of stuff just to survive. From that time in my life, I was introduced to selling drugs because I was taught to just hustle. Derek came into my life at an early age, but I was so broken and so damaged that I started damaging him.
I've been on my own since I was like 15. My mom left and moved to Savannah when I was 15 years old. So I had to live from pillow to post and do all kind of things, shoot dice, gamble, just to survive.
He was never mean to me, never cruel to me, never disrespectful. I was all those things to him, tearing his manhood down, telling him what he couldn't do for me.
Although Octavia and Derek were in an unhealthy relationship, they got married at the age of 21. At some point, Octavia began to teach Derek how to sell drugs, and unfortunately, they exposed their lifestyle to their children.
Early on, our granddaddy house was the trap house. We used to sell dope at our granddaddy house, and our kids used to be there.
The least that we made at that time maybe was between $1,500 a day. Sometimes we would make $500 in like 2 hours.
What made me stop selling drugs, when I got locked up the last time when the house got busted and I got locked up, I said, God, if you get me out of this without having to do no time, I will never sell drugs again. And that was the second time I've been locked up, and I was allowed to go on the First Offenders Act twice.
Even as a drug dealer, I knew I was doing wrong, but I knew that God was gonna take Derek and I to a higher place. I couldn't explain it, but I used to always tell Derek, God has a bigger plan for us.
Octavia and Derek felt God tugging at their hearts and began to seek Him more. When Derek was released from prison, they started attending World Changers Church International faithfully.
I started building my own relationship with God. I got the evidence of speaking in tongues. I stopped cursing. I started nurturing him and the kids more.
And I can remember I had like this little promise book, and I used to get high, and every day I would open up that promise book and act like I was a preacher preaching out the promise book.
One day, while at home, Derek had a life-changing encounter with God.
My husband ended up getting saved in one day. He stopped drinking, cussing, smoking, everything in one day.
After that day, they began to seek counseling with Bishop Fuller, director of Creflo Dollar's Ministerial Association. In their sessions, he confirmed the call of God on their lives, and they began their own ministry.
What we're doing now, we started our own ministry. It's called Open Wings Ministry. We have a conference call that we do every Tuesday, and we have 70 people on just about every week on a phone call, and we have it just like a church.
It was a sign for what was to come. What started as a phone ministry ended here, the place they call church.
And we just officially went to Sunday services about March 15th, and the first Sunday we had 30 people to join.
God just blessed us, and He enlarged our territories. And one thing I would like to say, and I know Derek can agree, we have more now than we ever had selling drugs.
Yeah.
Ever.
And not only
and peace to enjoy it.
Peace, that's the main thing. And we just thank God so much about the grace message, because it has allowed us to know, okay, you don't have to be perfect to serve God. You don't have to be flawless to serve God. And we could go before God with all our flaws and imperfections, and He still loves us the same.
Relationship with Jesus saved some drug dealers. Relationship. Not tradition, not religion, but relationship changed the behavior and transformed our lives.